we were so lucky that we were born in the years of Sri Satguru Jagjit Singh Ji. Since we were young, we got to have so much closeness and love from Satya Pachaji. Not only me, my brother, or anyone close to Pachaji, because most of the Thai children, my friends, I think anyone who is willing to come close to Satya Pachaji will make them feel very comfortable and love them, everyone. We're very lucky to be born in Satya Pachaji's time. There are numerous cases, numerous incidents that shows how much Pachaji loves us and how Pachaji listened to us even though we didn't say it out loud. So like they call Sakhi, when we call Sakhi, sometimes it's very small thing that Satya Pachaji does that you might listen to it and you might feel that it's nothing, it's of insignificance. But if you ask someone who actually had the thought, the idea, they would feel it's very, very significant. Everything which Satya Pachaji does, it's basically like that. That when Satya Pachaji does something to someone, and that person will feel like that he's on top of everything because of the feeling that we get from that. Like very small incident. I was once in India and in Satya Pachaji's Koti, and people were coming in and Matha take Satya Pachaji, and there was one person who was quite wealthy, and he Matha take this one to Pachaji, and then it was quite sum of money and some of the sevak, I would not name who. He said that Sandi arj kar lo, means that if you want to ask anything from Pachaji, you could ask. He said he didn't have anything to urge. And the sevak asked him again that if you need to urge something, you can urge, please urge Pachaji. And then he said he didn't have anything, he just must have taken, and he came out. And then after a while, one Bibi came, old lady came in, and she must have taken Pachaji 1 rupee, and I don't know, to that sevak it might seem like not so much, but for Pachaji I believe everything is the same. And then she cried and she said she wanted to urge Pachaji, she wanted to ask something from Pachaji. And that sevak said, no, you go, we don't have time. It's exactly the next moment, within 5 minutes of that incident. And then he said, you go out, there's no time. And I felt really hurt. I felt that I was talking to my mom that we call Satya Pachaji Greeb Nawaz. Greeb Nawaz means someone who blesses the poor, basically. And why didn't anybody listen to this person who did not have enough money to Matha take? Is it all about money? And I was talking to her. Sometimes, even though we love Pachaji, but sometimes we get some. Most of the time, Pachaji is like that. That when we have something and then Pachaji we clear it out. I was just talking to my mom on the side, quite far away, and then that old lady, she was sent outside. And right after 1 or 2 minutes, I saw Satya Pachaji calling Rishpal Sevak, and then Satya Pachaji was saying something to his ears, and then he came out to that old lady, and I asked Pachaji, okay, क्या है सर बैग की हुक्म किता है? He said Pachaji हुक्म किता है कि वो थे बीबी ने जाके पूछो की अर्ज करना है, वो दे अर्ज सुन क्या? It's a very small incident. If you tell somebody else, they might not feel anything, but if you ask me, I felt a lot. I felt that it's like not only clear my doubt, not that I have doubt, but it's like when you think of something, Pachaji does for everyone, not for, at the same moment, Pachaji also make that old lady happy, go and ask her what she wants, maybe bless her. I didn't follow up all that. Also anybody else like me on the side seeing. There's so many incidents. And one small incident was that I was studying in Australia at that time, in Sydney. And normally, when I come back home, I use the metro, and I need to change from the Blackburn station to another station, to another railway line. And it was very common that the Blacktown station has a lot of crime rates. There were a lot of Aborigines people living there, and maybe they're crime or not crime, I don't know about that, but I heard a lot of stories and I was really afraid of that area at that time, at night especially. And one day I had to do a school project, and I went to my college and I did the project with my friends and all. It was pretty late, I think like nearly midnight, and I had to come back by the train. And once I reached the Blacktown station, and then there was no train left. And I was calling my mom, she was in India. I was telling her that please do ardas for me, I'm very scared. I was young at the time, I was telling her I was very scared, I don't know what to do. And at that late, I don't know if I can even get a cab. The whole thing is closed down. And I was planning to walk. It's only a few stations, but it's maybe 45 minutes walk. So I was thinking that I have to walk. What else can I do? There was no taxi, there was nothing. I was not going to sleep in the station. So I started walking a little bit, but my mom was doing ardas. She urged Pashaji also, Kirpa karo, utte ja rahe the. And then Satpam Kitasi sare back in Nityanem karo. Everybody do Nityanem, and then he will be all right, don't worry. And then I came out of the station and I was walking just a little bit. It was pretty dark. And then there was one taxi I saw coming on the opposite side. And I called him taxi. And then I thought he didn't see me. And then I saw him going away. And then he made a U-turn and he came back. And he came back and parked in front of me. And once I opened the door, he said, "Main tere karke aaya." Exactly in Punjabi, it was a Sardar driver. He said, "Main tere karke aaya hu, kithe jana das?" And I told him to drop me at my house. And then he said that this is not a safe area for you to walk at night. And then he dropped me at the house, and he didn't switch on the meter. I didn't notice it. Then I saw the meter was off, and I told him I need to pay the money. He said that, "Nahi, tu ghar pahunch gaya na, itna hi bahut hai." Punjabi, he said like that. It was like, to some other people you might sound like very normal and all, but then for someone who is really afraid at that time, and then I urged Pashaji and somebody came and dropped me, and without charging money. I've been there for so long. I've never been on a free ride, even with Sardar driver. Anytime, why today? And he dropped me there, then he didn't charge any money, and I insisted that it used to cost me, I sat on a taxi before, it used to cost me this much dollar, you take it from me. He didn't take it. He said that tu ghar pahunch gaya unna hi bahut hai, ghar chal ja. Satpam hum kita si ke tu apne kapde pa ke janda hai paran. मैं कहा नहीं पासे पर उनका यूनिफॉर्म हैगा उसे. मैं कहा पासे यूनिफॉर्म नहीं आएगा. तो पासे उनका फिर तो अपने कपड़े क्यों नहीं बाकी जाना. पासे की कृपा करो. तो सतपम कहता तो वीरवार पाएगा फिर. मैं कहा सटे पाए वीरवार जो मुश्किल है तो शनिचरवार हो सकता है. सतपम कहता ठीक है शनिचरवार. Basically Satapathy give lots of love. But I was young at that time. I did not have that much chance to urge and discuss so much about Pashaji. We were very young children, but Pashaji gave us lots of love with everyone, not only me, anyone. My friend, you ask my friend, he used to cut his beard, and then Pashaji met him in Gurdwara, so far away. Pashaji came to the club car and then crossed him, and Pashaji called him. And then Pashaji asked who is he, where is he from, who's Rishtadar vagara. Pashaji asked him, and then Pashaji ishara, don't do this. And that small incident, if you are telling this to someone, not that somebody will suddenly stop cutting their beard or whatever. It's like, if when you say it out loud, you might not know the significance of it, but for the other person, it's very highly significant. And from that day till today, he did not cut his beard at all. And I think it's a big thing. What should the children do to become a better Namtari? First of all, we need a leader. And we are lucky that we already got a leader. Satguru gave us a leader. Mataji blessed us. Everybody blessed us with leader. At first, everybody will take time. My daddy used to tell me that मैं तीन गुरुआं देखे ने. जब सतगुरु जगजीत सिंह जी आया था ना, उदो भी कोई ना नहीं पता. I didn't listen to it at first, and then because we have love with Satguru Jagjit Singh Ji before we became Pashaji, we have love with him. We felt like he was like my uncle, and we were close before. And it's not easy. It's not easy, but slowly slowly we see that after he became Satya Pachaji, I opened my heart to him, and then my Dadaji's name is Mangal Singh Gambir, and people in Bangkok knows him by the name of Gyani. But he was not a Gyani. He told me that he was not a Gyani. Gyani is someone who completed a Gyani course, and he did not do that course. And there was a course, Gyani course in India, and then he said that Satya Pachaji named him Gyani. He went and take. He said that मैंने तो कुछ समझ ही नहीं. Satya gave him blessing, and he wrote quite nice stuff. Many people who read his book really and told him that it's very nice, and if you have chance, you should read it. He wrote about Sakhi of Satya Pachaji, of many things. My grandparents and my mom, my dad taught me about business, but my grandparents have not taught me about business. They don't care if I work. Nah. My daddy tell me only one thing, that to seva kar. My dada tell me कि हाथी सेवा कर, and my daddy tell me that चलो हाथी नहीं करना है तो तू पैसा ना कर तू पैसा मत टेक, तू पैसा सेवा कर. So from young they only tell me to do Netanim and seva. I've never heard my dada tell me much about business, even though he was into business and all, but he never tell me much. He just tell me a few things that हाँ तू साफ करेगा, पता लगे कि हाँ कमाई चाहे नुकसान है, जो काम करना है साफ करेगा, बाकी नितनेम करना है. So my dada used to tell me, बुड्ढा हुआ शेख फरीद, कंबन लगी दे, जे 100 बड़ा जीवना पी तन वसीखे. Means that Freedji was writing this line in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and Freedji was referring to himself that he's getting old. Buddha hua Sheikh Freed, he was getting old, and kamban lagi de, his hands were shaking, his body was shaking, and this 100 vara jeevana, even though someone could live for 100 years, pi tan vasike, at the end they will always be mitti, be a soil. There's nothing more significant than that in life. So whatever we do, we try our best, we try to work hard, we try to get this achievement, we try to get that. But at the end of the day, nothing really matters. And my dada teaches me that every time I meet him, he says that always do Netanim, always do Path. कहते ने तू पाठ याद करे कर, देख मैं हुन बुढ़ा हो गया ते मैनू पाठ याद है, मैं कर सकता. फिर गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी दा साखी सुनाते सन कि गुरु गोबिंद सिंह जी used to tell us, Guru Gobind Singh Ji used to tell one Sikh that you पाठ याद कर, try to memorize पाठ. And that Sikh would be like that, I cannot memorize anything, it's too hard for me, I cannot memorize. And then Guru Gobind Singh Ji tell him that तू एक पत्थर भर के ना इत्थे रखे कर रोज. You take one stone and leave it here every day. And that's what he did. After a while, Guru Gobind Singh Ji came there and saw that this is being a lot of stones. And then Guru Gobind Singh called him and देख ਇਹ पत्थर रोज दा पांदा है, इन्ना वड्डा इकट्ठा हो गया. ते हुण तुसी पाठ याद करो, थोड़ा एक लफ्ज़ तो याद करो, एक लाइन याद करो, तो उस तो बाद तुहानू भी पूरा पाठ याद आ जाएगा. My dada used to tell me something like that, and he used to tell me many sakhis of Satya Pachaji, of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, बड़े गुरुआं ने थे, और Ramayan, Ram. He used to tell me so many things, and he was very blessed by Satya Pachaji. Satya Pachaji called him Gyani Ji. He never thought himself of any writer. He told me himself that he didn't even know. He thought that मैं तो कुछ नहीं आएगा. सत्य पातशाह ने लिखांदे ने जो लिखांदा, मैं तो कलम भरना मैं तो जो लिखाना सत्य पातशाह लिखांदे ने. So he never wrote anything before. And then he used to write Sakhi about Satya Pachaji, and he get very happy. And we all, whenever we print that book, every one of us in the house have to photocopy the books and put stickers and put photos of Pachaji. He used to get new version every time. So at first he printed a normal one, then he got hold of a flower sticker. There was no Microsoft Word that was really functional for him at that time. So this was his Microsoft Word. He put stickers, flowers, and make it nice. And then we printed photos. We bought a special machine, very big machine my dad bought for him, and he was very happy to get that machine. It was quite expensive, but it was a machine that could copy very cheaply. The other machine will take a long time, but this machine, it's like you make a first copy, it's going to be a mold, and then it will continue running really fast. And then he said that the pictures are black and white. मैं कहा pictures are black and white होने तो की करना है? Then he said no, मैंने ना color picture चाहिए. Then we printed photos of Satguru Jagjit Ji, and he did quite hard work on that. To drive Jagjit's car, it feels great. Satguru always makes you feel great. Satguru Jagjit was in the car. Satguru asked about the car. Satguru Jagjit, it was a new car at that time, and Satguru Jagjit asked that how did you buy it, how much is the bank EMI, how much have you paid to the bank per month, and asked about the seats, are the leather seats. And then I told him, Jagjit, after the kirpa now, we changed the seats from the leather to PVC. And Jagjit was very, very happy, impressed that you changed the seat. You took it all out and I changed the seats. And then Jagjit, when we went out, Jagjit said that the suspension is very nice. Jagjit had information about the car. Jagjit used to love cars. Jagjit really insists on not using leather seats, not using any animal products. And so when we went on tour with Jagjit, at those days, nowadays there are so many leather seats, but those days there were a lot of fabric seats and leather seats airplane. And then when we went on first class with Jagjit went on first class, we were at the back, but there were quite a few flights that didn't have the non-leather seats. Jagjit had to check beforehand that what aeroplane was coming and is it a leather seat or not. And if it was leather seat, either Jagjit would come back and sit in the economy class or change the flight, have to delay the program. Anything, all the schedules ahead have to be delayed because Jagjit would rather not sit on the leather seats. Jagjit really insists on that. So basically, whenever we go with Jagjit had to wait for us, wait for everyone. Not for us, but for everyone who is going with Jagjit. Jagjit really took care of Jagjit's Sikh, that where is Jagjit's Sikh going to stay. So when Jagjit comes from India, Jagjit will bring many Sikh Sangat, Sat Sangat. And some people here will feel that, oh, they're just Indian people, they just want to tag along Jagjit and come. And then people feel bad for giving them place to stay, that they're not so clean and also that. But some people feel that way and all. But it's the same way when we were going to UK with Jagjit, we were the guys who are Jagjit Sikh, you know. And then we really understand how Jagjit really took care of us, how Jagjit really made sure that we got place to stay, where are we staying, is it far, is it near, how are you going to come. Jagjit asked the owners that how are they going to come to Netduan. Oh, Satguru, ऐसे भी आओगे तो ऐसे भी लेके आओगे ना. Satguru really took care that डेरा आना है, Duan, how to come, because it was not like Thailand. In Thailand, we got Namtari, which is close by. But from my experience, I don't know about today, but at that time, we had to stay a bit further because not all Namtari's houses were together. So there was the transportation and everything. And Jagjit really took care. Even Jagjit told them to take us and Kumana. Jagjit went to Canada and we couldn't get the visa on time. So we stayed at USA for 1 week on Los Angeles, and then Jagjit made sure that for 3 days, Jagjit made sure that we had to like go around, see something, Disney World and all. We went, and Jagjit made sure that we had something to do in that 3 days too. Jagjit really took care of his Sikhs. So the same thing could be applied in Thailand. When Jagjit comes to Thailand, Sikhs that come from India with Jagjit also love if anybody take care of Jagjit Sikh and all. Jagjit really love him. So basically, Jagjit gives love and blessing. If you ask for Jagjit, I rarely see someone whose wish is not fulfilled. I mean, I haven't met anyone who has not been fulfilled if you really urge Jagjit.